الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
Alhamdulillah wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa la sharika lah. We give thanks to God for another beautiful Friday that He gives us the opportunity to carry out one of His most important commandments. Absolutely, He is the one God. There is no other God besides Him. The King, the most sacred, the peace, the most faithful, the supreme, the almighty, the most powerful. God be glorified, far above having partners. Like I often say, it is incumbent upon me and inshallah, everybody listening to this sermon today, that we do not say about God except the truth. Not only about God, but also His book, the glorious Quran. You know, a lot of people won't like you when you say the truth, but God tells us in this chapter 39, verse 33, as for those who are able to promote that truth, right? As for those who promote the truth and believe therein, meaning in that Quran, they are the righteous. So no matter what anybody wants to call us or call you, as long as we're included among the righteous, that should be sufficient for us, inshallah. You know, a lot of people, they call it peer pressure. They want you to do what they want to do so that they can bring you down to their level. But the way I look at it, it is better to walk alone than to walk with a crowd going in the wrong direction. And by the way, you're never walking alone. As long as you have God, you're never alone. So let those wrong people, let them go in the wrong way. Leave them alone. Otherwise, this is what is going to happen right here. People, they're going to fall down the cliff eventually. I begin my khutbah, my sermon today, like I always do, with this beautiful prayer from the glorious Quran. It says, "My Lord, admit me an honorable admittance, and let me depart an honorable departure, and grant me from you a powerful support." Inshallah, inshallah. Today's khutbah is titled, "They Believe in God." They believe in God. And look at that one word. Please pay attention to that "in." It's going to make a lot of difference. The way people look at this. They believe in God. A lot of people say that. Like these people right here. They believe in God, right? You can see them, they're praying, they believe in God. She also believes in God with the lighted candles, right? The people who flew those jet planes, those aeroplanes into the New York towers, they believe in God. According to them, they believe in God. You can see these guys with their crosses, right? Stands for Jesus or whatever, Bible here. They believe in God. They claim to believe in God also. See their crosses and their robes. They claim to believe in God. These people also believe in God, which we're very close to, right? They believe in God. This guy also believes in God. You see, he has that cross, right? And he has vodka here and whiskey on the other side. He believes in God, right? So all of those people I've shown to you in chapter 10 verse 31 of the Quran, it says, if you ask all of these people, it says, say, who provides for you from the heavens and from the earth, right? Who controls all hearing and the eyesight? Who produces the living from the dead and the dead from the living? Who is in control of all things? If you ask all of these people I just showed you these slides about, they will say God. Yeah, they will say God. So they believe in God, right? And hence this powerful, profound question in this same verse, chapter 10, verse 31. If you believe in God, say, why then do you not observe the commandments? Why then do you not observe the commandments? Right? So the khutbah today is it just okay to say we believe in God? See right here? In, right there. Or must we also believe God? There's a difference right here. Profound difference with one word. In. A lot of people believe in God. But we ask them, must they also believe God? What do I mean by that? Is it just okay to believe in God, as must these people also believe God? Believe God when it says, oh, you who believe, intoxicants and gambling at the altars of idols and the games of chance and abominations. Another beautiful commandment, you shall avoid them, that you may succeed. That is the question for today. Is it okay to just believe in God? Or must we also believe God? When he tells us in chapter 62 verse 9, O you who believe, when the congregational prayer, Salat al-Jumu'ah, is announced on Friday, you shall, it's a direct commandment right there, you shall hasten to the commemoration of God and drop all, not one, drop all business. This is better for you if you know, if you knew. Is it okay to just say we believe in God? Or must we also believe God? When he tells us in chapter 17 verse 36 of the glorious Quran that you shall not accept any information unless you verify it yourself. Why? Because he has given you the hearing and the eyesight and the brains, and you're responsible for using those faculties. And the question is that, is it okay to just say you believe in God? In God. Or must you believe God when he tells you this to verify information before you start spreading rumors about, oh, that guy stole $1 million, that guy is an adulterer, that lady is an adulteress, before you start spreading rumors? Is it okay to just believe in God? Or must we also believe God when he tells us in chapter 4, verse 148, that he does not like the utterances of bad languages, unless one is treated with gross injustice. I'm talking about the F word that a lot of submitters still use casually, just easily today. The middle finger, right? And the Indian and Iranian and Nigerian and any other country you want to think of, the equivalents that are even more horrible. Is it okay to just believe in God? Or must we also believe God? Yes. Do you believe God when it tells us in chapter 49 verse 12? O you who believe, you shall avoid any suspicion, for even a little bit of suspicion is sinful. You shall not spy, another direct commandment. You shall not spy on one another. This is as abominable as eating the flesh of your dead brother. Do we believe God when He tells us that? Or we're just content to say, we believe in God? Do you believe God when He tells that you shall avoid suspicion? So there's a difference between believing in God. A lot of people do that. They believe in God. Do they follow the commandments? Do they believe God? It's a profound difference that we need to reflect on as we continue. Yes. Is it okay to just believe in God? Or must we also believe God? When He tells us in chapter 4, verse 36, which is the biggest one of them all, that you shall worship God alone. Do not associate anything with Him. Do you believe God when He says that? Or you're just content to say you believe in God? He says you shall worship God alone. Do not associate anything with Him. You shall regard the parents, the relatives, the orphans, the poor, and the related neighbor. The unrelated neighbor, the close associate, the traveling alien, and your servants. Your servants doesn't have to be literal servants. It could be people working for you, people that they are under you, that they serve you or they work for you. God does not like the arrogant show off. Tuwala. Alhamdulillah wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa la sharika lah. The point of my sermon today is to emphasize that God is absolutely in control of all things. And the need for us to strengthen our conviction, our belief, by doing what we preach and what we believe, right? And more importantly, to carry out God's commandments and trust Him. Carry out God's commandments and trust Him. We worship a very merciful God. He knows we can't always be on top of things, but we've got to do better. We've got to strive each day to get better and carry out His commandments, because those things, they nourish our souls. In chapter 5, verse 7, it says, remember God's blessings upon you. We forget a lot of times His blessings upon us. And His covenant that He covenanted with you. And you said, we hear and we obey. Therefore, you shall observe God. God is fully aware of your innermost thoughts. Another related verse to this was when He said He gathered the children of Adam and, reminded them that they bore witness. So we covenanted with God that we hear and we obey. That's why we have to do more to pay attention to those commandments and carry them out, instead of just saying, I'm a submitter, I'm a believer, I believe in God, I believe in God. That's the key right there. A lot of people believe in God, but do they believe God? O you who believe, in chapter 66, verse 6, it says, O you who believe, protect yourself and your families from the hellfire, whose fuel is people and rocks. Guarding it as stern and powerful angels who never disobey God. They do whatever they are commanded to do. They do whatever they are commanded to do. We have to be like the angels. We need to do what we are commanded to do. Whatever God asks us to do, if it's a direct commandment, we've got to try to carry it out, inshallah. Chapter 68, verse 48, Another direct commandment, you shall steadfastly, it's not always easy, but you shall steadfastly persevere and carry out the commands of your Lord. Why? Because you do not want to be like Jonah, who ended up in the stomach of the fish, right? Who called from the inside of the fish. We do not want to be like that. That's why we want to carry out God's commandments. Because, we worship a very merciful Lord, but his retributions are awesome and severe. Despite the fact that he gives us chances and chances and chances. Do not be like Jonah. Inshallah, we do not be like Jonah. So chapter 7, 163 reads, remind them of the community by the sea who desecrated the Sabbath, right? They went against the commandment. When they observed the Sabbath, when they observed the commandments, the fish came to them abundantly. Right? And when they violated the Sabbath, when they went against the commandment, right? The fish did not come. It's as simple as that. Right? We thus afflicted them as a consequence of their own transgressions for not obeying God's commandment. 76:24 says, you shall steadfastly against, it's not always easy, you shall steadfastly, just keep trying, steadfastly carry out your Lord's commandments and do not obey any sinful disbeliever among them. A lot of people will like to bring you down to their level, tell you there is no God, if there, and all of that kind of stuff. No, the commandment is right there in front of us. Steadfastly carry out your Lord's commandments, inshallah. Why? Why do we need to carry out God's commandments? Like I explained earlier, we worship a very merciful God, but it's telling us right here in this chapter 39, verse 56, we need to carry out God's commandments, lest a soul may say, how sorry, disregarding God's commandment I was, certainly one of the mockers. Lest a soul may say, wow, sorry for disregarding God's commandments. That's why it's very important not to disregard them, inshallah. Furthermore, those who obey God and his messenger and reverence God and observe him, these are the triumphant ones. If we're able to carry out God's commandment, God says these are the triumphant ones. Alkum Salat. We intend to do the Jummah prayer in the name of God. Allahu Akbar. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. Allahu Akbar. Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. Allahu Akbar. Sami Allahu liman hamidah. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Congratulations. Peace.